Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Golden Gloves Chat Show. Welcome, Donjuan van Heerden. There's lots of ways to pronounce your name, isn't there? Me as an Engelsman, I'll say Don Juan. I know your nickname is Deedee. How would you pronounce your name?
There is a lot of different ways to pronounce it. Afrikaanse mense, they call it Donjuan.
Donjuan.
I get English people, they call me Dungeon sometimes because they can't say my name.
Okay.
Donjuan.
I'm not going to call you
Don
Dungeon.
Juan.
Don Juan sounded nice.
Yeah.
But let's not worry about that. Your real nickname is Deedee.
Yes.
So
everyone, family, friends, everyone.
So
calls me
I'm going to
Deedee,
call you Deedee. You're going to call me Brian, not Uncle Brian. Okay, Deedee, let's have a chat. Your boxing nickname is the Iron Dragon. Where did that come from?
So me and my dad, we were all sitting in the kitchen once, and my dad was always like, "Hey, ek is die tier, ek is die stuk staal," you know. So, and then I think Bruce Lee was called the Iron Dragon or the Dragon or something, and then my dad was telling me, we were talking about the story of Bruce Lee, and I was like, yes, but what am I gonna get called one day? You know, he's like, because nothing fits by Donjuan van Heerden, Donjuan the White Tiger van Heerden doesn't really fit. So my dad said, hey, the Iron Dragon. So just from there.
Great. Well, it's a nice nickname, and it's a lovely story coming from your dad, who's also a professional fighter. We'll talk a bit more about your dad just now. So you're 23-year-old southpaw. You've just turned 23. Happy birthday for last month.
Thank you.
You're middleweight, 11 fights, 9 wins, 6 by KO, only 2 losses, which we're going to talk about. Fantastic career. Let's start with where you grew up. You're from Meyerton, right?
Yeah, so we actually were living in Walkerville for quite a while. My dad was...
That's close to Meyerton?
Yeah, it's like 10 minutes away from Meyerton. And then, but we were always, when my brothers were fighting, we are from Meyerton. You know, it's just better. Yeah. But I'm living in Meyerton now. I'm situated in Meyerton, so I'm fighting out of Meyerton. But yeah, my whole life from Meyerton. So.
And children, how many children in the family? I believe there's plenty.
There's 13 children.
13?
7 brothers, 6 sisters. And all my brothers was fighters when my dad was alive. Most of them, they all went to different
Same
routes.
mom and dad?
No.
Oh, okay, a couple of moms.
Yeah, I think 4 or 5 moms.
Oh, okay. But so your dad was a busy man.
Yeah, no.
It's 13 children. Wow, he kept the Van Heerden flag flying, eh?
Yeah, no.
Okay, so and tell us about your amateur days. How many amateur fights did you have?
Sure. I have about 65, 66 amateur fights. I've got 2 losses. I've won South African championships 6 times in a row. I've took gold home, and just at the age of 14, 15, I didn't start. I was going to SA Games, and I didn't even get fights. They told me, no, you straight to go to gold. So
you were really good as an amateur.
Yeah, the guys were in my weight. Then they call us all the way from Mthatha in Cape Town. They're like, hey, come, we've got a fight for you. Bring Donjuan. He's going to fight. We come there. No, the guys are so scared to fight me. They move up and down in weight divisions. So today there's a guy in my weight. Tomorrow when we weigh, that guy somewhere went up or we went down. So,
that's a good thing. So that the guys were nervous of you in amateurs.
Yeah.
But you had a great amateur record. Okay, that's well done. So your brothers are pretty well known. Chris van Heerden's a former IBO champion, lives in America. Donnie van Heerden, your other older brother, is a slap champion. He does the slap competitions. Do you chat to them much?
I'd speak to Donnie a lot. Chris, we don't chat a lot because the time's different. The time frame's very different,
Yeah, so he lives in Santa Monica.
Yes, yeah.
Or Santa Barbara or somewhere.
So, Santa Monica, Los Angeles, California, somewhere. So, me and Donnie talk a lot, but
Okay, fantastic. So you got older brothers that are compared. So your whole family fights.
Yes.
Because I know your dad was actually mates with my dad, funny enough. It's a story that you know. Going back a long time, they used to box together as youngsters. Yeah. And your dad became a pro boxer as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So your fighting family. Well, let's talk about your dad, which is a sore subject as well. I'm sure you get tired of talking about it, but it's something you have to discuss. Your dad was shot and killed in South Africa in 2018 when you were just 17 years old.
Yeah.
And you were there. Tell us a bit about the story.
My dad owned a security company, and there was another guy that was working for a guy. My father and this guy's boss were in business together, the Red Ants boss, Johan Bosch. And, my dad stopped by he's one guy working for him, working for Bosch, and he asked the guy, "Hey, what are you doing?" Because they were offloading meat from a truck onto his bakkie, but Johan Bosch also owned a butchery, so they were offloading meat. And when my dad confronted the guy, they offloaded the meat again. The truck left, and the guard, and my dad got into an argument. So we were.
Were you at the scene at the time?
I was there, yes. I was in the bakkie.
So you're actually watching everything that was happening?
Yes. So, and the bakkie only had 2 doors, so I can't get out. And I was sonsteek. I had like, I couldn't,
Sunburned.
yes. So I was sick that day. I was throwing up all the time. When I walk, I fell to the right. So I didn't feel good. So my dad had actually taken me to the doctor, and then we bought meat, and then we went back home. And on the way back home, he saw this guy, and they got into an argument. So my dad took this guy's keys, and he said to this, "I'm taking your keys. I'm taking it to Mr. Johan Bosch, okay?" And this guy said, "Oh, you're robbing me." So my dad, he shot our front tire, and I came up.
So the security guard just shoots the tire?
Yes, shot the tire, because my dad got his keys now. So he's saying my dad's robbing him. And my dad threw the keys back then. And then the lady that was sitting on the front seat took a video, and the guard saw she's taking a video of what's happening, and he tried to grip the phone out of her, and my dad hit the phone to the back. So the phone fell to the back. And I came up, and as I came up to the back window, the guy came to my side, and he pointed the gun at me. So my dad walked around from the driver's seat, and he came to my window, and he stood in front of the window, and he looked at me like this. We were looking in each other's eyes, and I said to him, "Laat ek uitklim, let me get out, because if this guy shoots you today, he has to shoot me too."
Yeah.
And then he shot my dad. Bam. So the bullet went in his arm, out here into his lungs. And he walked around back to the driver's seat, and his whole body was just like falling backwards. So I picked him up. I tried to hold him.
Yeah.
And my dad was just too heavy at the moment, So the people that was around, so a lot of people stopped and asked him, "Hey, help me, I need to take my dad to the hospital, he's been shot." So no one's helping me, and I'm falling down, holding my dad, praying, and I'm looking at him, I'm talking to him, and then he blew out his last breath in my arms.
So he actually blew out his last breath in you.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling us that story and going through it again. It's obviously heartbreaking for you.
Yeah.
17 years old, your dad dies in your arms. Very sorry to hear that. What is it like for you then going forward in your boxing career? Did you feel like life was just over? What did you feel like emotionally?
Yeah, it was hard. At the stage, I was getting thought of, I need to kill myself, I need to take a gun and shoot me, I wanted to hang myself.
Shame,
but
man.
all of that thought, because my best buddy, I was still living with my dad. It was only me and my dad, Most of the other siblings all moved out. My mom moved out because my dad and my mom were divorced. So it was only me and my dad.
Yeah.
And it was hectic for me. It was hard.
So you're very close to your dad, and I read all the stories. He was your hero, and you're close to him.
Yeah,
okay, thanks for telling us about that. Really sorry to hear, but let's move on. Your pro career. Your first fight, Simon Gladler, 2018. You're 17 years old. How did you actually get a license?
When
to
I
fight?
fought him, I was 16.
Were you 16 years old?
16, yeah. It was a year before my dad passed away. So we actually got my license from Ukraine. People helped me, got my license from Ukraine, because I wasn't able to get a license in Africa, and I didn't get any more amateur fights. I mean, like I said, the guys was moving up in weights and down in weights to not fight me. So I was struggling to get fights, and I thought, look, I need to start doing something, because
you were
get a pro license, I need to fight.
So you were 16 years old?
Yeah, 16.
Yeah, when you fought, and he was having his second pro fight, and someone rather turned out to be a good fighter.
Yeah.
So you lost that fight, but for obvious reasons, because you were so young.
Yes, yeah.
And then
I was beating him. I won the first 3 rounds. Round 4, the ref stopped the fight. So I was out on my feet, because and I wouldn't say I wasn't tired.
Yeah.
I could have fought him for 6 rounds but then the ref stopped the fight. So that was the blemish on my record.
So you've already had a big life for a young man, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, you're 23 years old now. You've got a good head on your shoulders, I can see, and you've had a big life already. But we're going to talk about your life's going to get bigger as a professional boxer. Then you won 8 fights in a row, 5 by TKO. So you obviously are a puncher. Then you had your second loss against Ismail Sek in France. He had 21 fights, and I believe it was a shoddy decision, like you normally get when young South Africans go overseas. Tell us about that fight against Ismail Sek.
Yeah, I think it was a good fight for my career at the time, even though it didn't worked in my favor. It should have, but it is what it is. I believe I beat him. He himself came to me afterwards. The French people came to me afterwards. They said to me, to the dressing room after the fight, they're like, "Hey, no, South Africa, when you must win this fight. You should have won." So I was just like, we couldn't do a lot about it at the moment. But
the joke is, you got to knock a guy when you go overseas. You got to knock him out to get a draw.
Yes,
so that's really, I can understand that you were robbed there. Okay, then your 11th fight, which was your last fight, you fought Ramaliba. And you smashed him within 1 minute of the first round.
Yes.
Tell us about that fight.
So there was actually, we sent out contracts for people to fight me. And there was 9 opponents that, will take the fight. And then 99.9% later, they're like, no, sorry, they pulled out. So, it was just tough getting fights. And, he was the only guy to step up. So I said, hey, if he's accepting the challenge, let's do it. Let's fight. I don't mind.
And of course, you needed to fight. That's Deedee, the reason we're sitting here now, obviously, is the good news is you're joining up with Golden Gloves. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
We're very happy to have you in the Golden Gloves stable. We've always thought you're a talented fighter, but you were maybe a bit lost in the boxing world. Yeah. And so Golden Gloves is going to look after you, going to promote you, which is fantastic. We look forward to your next fight will be on October the 19th at Empress Palace. You'll be fighting John Babapi for the South African middleweight title. And as I said, that's exciting news that you're part of the Golden Glove stable. Promoter Rodney Berman has said, should you win the SA title, which we know you're going to win against John Babapi, he's penciled you in for November as well. He's looking for a big fight for you in November. So we're looking forward to all that. Your manager, Colleen McAusland, she's doing a great job. I want to ask you about your relationship with her. 2018, she was manager of the year with the BSA Boxing Awards. So she's really done a good job. Smasha Debbie, obviously the lady champion, is one of her fighters. Tell us your relationship with Colleen.
Colleen's she's like a mom for me. She's like my boxing mom. Because also the time when I lost my father, my mom lived in Pretoria, so I lived in my car for about a week, 2 weeks before.
You lived in your car?
Yeah, I wasn't able to go back to my father's plot. It was hectic for me. They locked the gates. My older brothers, for the people not to be able to break in and stuff.
And you lived in your car for a week?
Well, a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. But because I'm a daddy's boy. I can't live with my mom. Okay. So Colleen took me in. She helped me.
As a mother figure.
Yeah, she helped me. Get my life back on track. She got me a few fights under Uncle Lionel Hunter.
Yes, the great Lionel Hunter.
Yeah, so that was my. She took me in and she guided me.
Fantastic.
It made me
what a story.
The fighter I am today.
Fantastic. And she's done a good job, like you say. She's a mother figure to all you youngsters. She puts in a lot of hard work and effort. And I was talking to her off air just now. She's here with you as well today. Is that she's not even making money because at the level she's at with the guys and the ladies, she's chipping in money.
She's all doing it for the love.
She loves the boxing. Yeah. She's so
we are like her kids,
her children. Yeah. Well, we feel the same at our gym. The boxers are our kids.
Yes.
Ricardo Malajika and the Rock Naps and the Shavante Koopmans, all the youngsters that train us are like our children. So I can understand how Colleen feels about you guys. Let's talk about your trainer, Kangelani Jack. Brilliant trainer, won Boxing Trainer of the Year at the BSA Awards in 2023. How's it going with Kangelani Jack?
Very good trainer, he's just, I don't know, he's on another level for me, and it's nice because the coach, I've got 2 coaches, but he's my main coach. I've got a conditioning coach and then I've got Kangelani, my coach. And, they are just, they drill us, and it's great training, and they make it fun in a way. You get a coach and then you get a boxer and they don't really click. I need to click with my coach, and I've been clicking with Kangelani Jack from amateur days when I fought Asemathle.
Yes.
He was training Asemathle.
You beat Willem Asemathle in amateurs, eh?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. So even that time, me and Jack were like, hey, we were just like friends,
Great. Okay, so that's fantastic. So you've got a good trainer, a brilliant trainer in Kangelani Jack. You've got a good manager in Colleen McAusland. And of course, Golden Gloves is going to be your promoter. So that's fantastic news. We look forward to seeing you on the next big show. Well, there's a big show in August and the big show after that in October. Where would you? You're 23 years old. You look like a kid that's got so much in your head. You know, you look so mature. Is what I'm trying to say, because you've had this tough life already with the passing of your father and everything you've been through. Where do you want to see? Where do you see yourself in 2 years' time?
You know, it's all up to God. You know, God's got a plan for me. But I see myself at the top stage. You know,
World
I've
champion?
got 2 years, multiple world champion if I can.
Great.
You know, I've got time. 2 years is more than enough for me. If I keep active and I keep on delivering and doing what I have to do, it's inevitable. It has to happen.
Great answer. Well, Deedee, we look forward to it. Once again,
Thank you so
congratulations.
much.
Welcome to the Golden Glove fold. Deedee Donjuan van Heerden.
Yes.
We're going to be talking a lot going forward, and we can see you the kind of guy that I believe in you. I was one of the guys that said to Golden Gloves and Rodney Berman, this kid can fight. We need to get him on board. So we look forward to having you in our stable. Thanks for being our guest on the Golden Glove Chat Show.
I appreciate it. Thanks, everyone.
I'm me, Brian Mitchell. Cheers for now.